Deuteronomy chapter 18, verse 15. The Lord your God, which is Yahweh, your Elohim, will raise up unto you a prophet from the midst of you, of your brothers, like unto me. Now, who is this speaking? This is Moses speaking. So he said that a prophet from the midst of you, of your brothers, like unto me. So this prophet is going to be like him. Then it states, unto him you shall hearken, meaning listen and obey. Shalom, family. There are those who believe the prophet like unto Moses is Mohummad. We know that's incorrect. There are also those Old Testament brothers and sisters that believe that prophet is Joshua. Let's look into that. This is Joshua chapter 1, verse 1. Now, after the death of Moses, the servant of Yahweh, it came to pass that Yahweh spake unto Joshua, the son of Nun, Moses' minister, saying, Moses, my servant, is dead. Now, therefore, arise, go over this Jordan, you and all this people, unto the land which I do give to them, even to the children of Israel. Well, we know after Moses' death, the second runner-up was Joshua. So he was that second prophet. Now let's jump to verse 5 through 8. There shall not any man be able to stand before you all the days of your life. As I was with Moses, so I will be with you. I will not fail you nor forsake you. So this sounds like that prophet like unto Moses, because the Most High was with him. Verse 6. Be strong and of a good courage. For unto this people shall you divide for inheritance the land, which I swear unto their fathers to give them. Only be you strong and very courageous, that you may observe to do according to all the law, which Moses my servant commanded you. Turn not from it to the right hand or to the left, that you may prosper whithersoever you go. This book of the law, which shall not depart out of your mouth, but you shall meditate therein day and night. So we see here that the Most High told Joshua, this book of the law shall not depart out of your mouth, but you shall meditate therein day and night. It also states that you may observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then you shall make your way prosperous, and then you should have good success. So I understand why some of these brothers and sisters might say that Joshua is that prophet like unto Moses. Because so far it does sound that way. Because the Most High was with him. He said he's going to put the law in his mouth. He's supposed to meditate therein day and night. So let's continue. Deuteronomy chapter 34, verse 7 through 10. And Moses was 120 years old when he died. His eye was not dim, nor his natural force abated. And the children of Israel wept for Moses in the plains of Moab 30 days. So the days of weeping and mourning for Moses were ended. So after Moses died, we know that Joshua was the next person in line to lead Israel. And we also understand that the Most High was with him. Verse 9. And Joshua, the son of Nun, was full of the spirit of wisdom, for Moses had laid his hands upon him. And the children of Israel hearkened unto him, and did as Yahweh commanded Moses. So the children of Israel listened and obeyed Joshua, just like they listened and obeyed Moses. And we also understand that Joshua was full of the spirit of wisdom. Verse 9 again, it states that, and Joshua the son of Nun was full of the spirit of wisdom, for Moses had laid his hands upon him. What does that mean? All the wisdom Moses had, he gave that to Joshua. And the children of Israel hearkened unto him, meaning hearkened unto Joshua, and did as Yahweh commanded Moses. Verse 10. And there arose a prophet since in Israel like unto Moses, whom Yahweh knew face to face. So now we see that Joshua is not that prophet like unto Moses. Because in verse 10 it states, and there arose not a prophet since in Israel like unto Moses. Now keep in mind, Joshua came after Moses. But it states, and there arose not a prophet since in Israel like Moses, like unto Moses, whom Yahweh knew face to face. So now we still have to find out who that prophet is like unto Moses. But the first thing we need to understand is, what is a prophet, or what makes a person a prophet? So this is Deuteronomy chapter 18, verse 22. When a prophet speaks in the name of Yahweh, if the thing follow not, nor come to pass, that is the thing which the Yahweh has not spoken. So if that which he spoke comes to pass, that makes him a prophet. But if it doesn't come to pass, that is the thing which Yahweh has not spoken, but the prophet has spoken it presumptuously. You should not be afraid of him. So this is back up to Deuteronomy chapter 18, verse 15 through 17 now. Yahweh your Elohim will raise up unto you a prophet from the midst of you, of your brothers, like unto me. Unto him you shall hearken, meaning listen and obey. Take heed to what he's saying. Verse 16, according to all that you did desires of Yahweh your Elohim in Horeb in the day of the assembly. So he wants you to listen and desire everything that this new prophet going to come and tell you. Just like you did in Horeb in the day of the assembly, saying, let me not hear again the voice of Yahweh my Elohim, neither let me see this great fire any more, that I die not. And Yahweh said unto me, they have well spoken that which they have spoken. Verse 18 and 19. I will raise them up a prophet from among their brothers, like unto me. That's key, because there's people out here that believe that this prophet that's going to be raised up among them can fit any prophet, specifically Joshua. But this is not Joshua. It says, I will raise them up a prophet from among their brothers, like unto me. So this prophet is going to be similar to Moses, and will put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak unto them all that I shall command him. So he's not going to speak his own words. He's going to speak the words of the Most High, and he's going to speak unto them all that the Most High commands him. Verse 19, and it shall come to pass that whosoever will not hearken unto my words. Whose words? Yahweh words, the Most High, Yahweh.
Whosoever will not hearken unto my words which he shall speak in my name, I will require it of him.
So let me repeat that. That whosoever will not hearken unto my words which he shall speak in my name, I will require it of him. So let's see who this prophet that was prophesied to come, that is similar to Moses. This is Acts chapter 3, verse 17 through 24. And now, brothers, I wot that through ignorance you did it, as did also your rulers. But those things which Elohim before has showed by the mouth of all his prophets, that Christ should suffer, he has so fulfilled. So verse 18 states that Yahweh has showed by the mouth of all his prophets that Christ should suffer, and he has fulfilled. Verse 19, the ones that don't believe in Yahweh Shai, This is what you have to do. Verse 19. Repent you therefore and be converted that your sins may be blotted out, when the times of refreshing shall come from the presence of Yahweh. And he shall send Yahushua Hamashiach, which before was preached unto you, whom the heaven must receive unto the times of restitution of all things, which Elohim has spoken by the mouth of all his holy prophets since the world began. For Moses truly said unto the fathers, a prophet shall Yahweh your Elohim raise up unto you of your brothers, like unto me. Him shall you hear in all things, whatsoever he shall say unto you. And it shall come to pass that every soul which will not hear that prophet shall be destroyed from among the people. I have to read that again. And it shall come to pass that every soul which will not hear that prophet shall be destroyed from among the people. Which prophet are we talking about? Yahushua, aka Jesus Christ. Verse 24. Yeah, and all the prophets from Samuel and those that follow after, as many as have spoken, have likewise foretold of these days. Now we know which prophet was like Moses, at whom we supposed to hearken to, or we would be penalized if we didn't.
You understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Prophet like Moses. What makes Yahushua, aka Jesus, a prophet like Moses? So let's go over some of the characteristics of what makes Yahushua a prophet like Moses. Exodus chapter 1, verse 15 through 22. And the king of Egypt spake to the Hebrew midwives, of which the name of the one was Shiphrah, and the name of the other Puah. And he said, when you do the office of a midwife to the Hebrew women and see them upon the stools, if it be a son, then you shall kill him. That's key. If it be a son, this is Pharaoh speaking to the midwives or for the Hebrew women. If it be a son, then you shall kill him. But if it be a daughter, then she shall live. But the midwives feared Elohim. It did not as the king of Egypt commanded them, but saved the men children alive. And the king of Egypt called for the midwives and said unto them, why have you done this thing and have saved the men children alive? Verse 19. And the midwives said unto Pharaoh, because the Hebrew women are not as the Egyptian women, for they are lively, and are delivered ere the midwives come in unto them. Therefore Elohim dealt well with the midwives, and the people multiplied and waxed very mighty. And it came to pass, because the midwives feared Elohim, that he made them houses. And Pharaoh charged all his people, saying, every son that is born you shall cast into the river, and every daughter you shall save alive. Now, why is he saying all this? Because he understands that the seed line comes through the male, not the woman. So the seed line comes through the male. That's Exodus chapter 2, verse 1 through 10. And there went a man of the house of Levi and took to wife a daughter of Levi. And the woman conceived and bare a son. And when she saw him, that he was a goodly child, she hid him 3 months. And when she could not longer hide him, she took for him an ark of bulrushes and daubed it with slime and with pitch, and put the child therein. And she laid it with the flags by the river's brink. Verse 4. And his sister stood afar off, to wit what would be done to him. And the daughter of Pharaoh came down to wash herself at the river, and her maidens walked along by the river's side. And when she saw the ark among the flags, she sent her maid to fetch it. And when she had opened it, she saw the child, and behold, the babe wept. And she had compassion on him and said, "This is one of the Hebrews' children." Then said his sister to Pharaoh's daughter, "Shall I go and call to you a nurse of the Hebrew women, that she may nurse the child for you?" Verse 8. And Pharaoh's daughter said to her, "Go." And the maid went and called the child's mother. And Pharaoh's daughter said unto her, "Take this child away and nurse it for me, and I will give you wages." And the woman took the child and nursed it. And the child grew, and she brought him unto Pharaoh's daughter, and he became her son. And she called his name Moses. And she said, "Because I drew him out of the water." So let's backtrack on what happened. Pharaoh wanted all the male Hebrew child that was born to be killed. Where was Pharaoh residing at? He was residing in Egypt. So Moses survived that act of terror, and he was raised in Pharaoh's place, which is in Egypt. But how is this in comparison to Yahushua? Matthew chapter 2, verse 1 through 6. Now when Yahushua was born in Bethlehem of Judea in the days of Herod the king, behold, there came wise men from the east to Jerusalem, saying, "Where is he that is born King of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east, and are come to worship him." When Herod the king had heard these things, he was troubled, and all Jerusalem with him. Verse 4. And when he had gathered all the chief priests and scribes of the people together, he demanded of them where Christ should be born. And they said unto him, "In Bethlehem of Judea, for thus it is written by the prophet, and you, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, art not the least among the princes of Judah. For out of you shall come a governor that shall rule my people Israel." So Christ, Yahushua, will become a governor that is going to rule his people Israel. So which prophet wrote this? Micah chapter 5, verse 2. "But you, Bethlehem, Ephratah, though you be little among the thousands of Judah, yet out of you shall he come forth unto me, that is to be ruler in Israel, whose goings forth have been from of old, from everlasting." So his goings forth is from old and from everlasting. That's giving us a clue of who this is making reference to. This is back to Matthew chapter 2, verse 7 through 15 now. Then Herod, when he had privately called the wise men, inquired of them diligently what time the star appeared. And he sent them to Bethlehem and said, "Go and search diligently for the young child. And when you have found him, bring me word again, that I may come and worship him also." When they had heard the king, they departed. And lo, the star which they saw in the east went before them, till they came and stood over where the young child was. When they saw the star, they rejoiced with exceeding great joy. Verse 11. And when they were coming to the house, they saw the young child with Mary his mother, and fell down and worshiped him. And when they had opened their treasures, they presented unto him gifts, gold and frankincense and myrrh. And being warned of Elohim in a dream that they should not return to Herod, they departed into their own country another way. Verse 13. And when they were departed, behold, the angel of Yahweh appears to Joseph in a dream, saying, "Arise and take the young child and his mother and flee into Egypt." Now, where was Moses born again? And where was Moses raised as a child at? Egypt. Now, this same prophet, which is Yahushua, when he was born, an angel came to Joseph and told him, "Arise and take the young child and his mother and flee into Egypt, and be you there until I bring you word. For Herod will seek the young child to destroy him." What were they doing in Egypt in Moses' days? Destroying all the male childs that were born. Sounds like Herod is trying to do the same thing. Verse 14. When he arose, he took the young child and his mother by night and departed into Egypt, and was there unto the death of Herod, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken of Yahweh by the prophet, saying, out of Egypt have I called my son. Now let's look into which prophet said this, because it states that it might be fulfilled. Hosea chapter 11, verse 1. When Israel was a child, then I loved him and called my son out of Egypt. Now we have a better understanding of what this verse is making reference to. Matthew chapter 2, verse 16 now. Then Herod, when he saw that he was mocked of the wise men, was exceeding wroth, and sent forth, and slew all the children that were in Bethlehem, and in all the coast thereof, from 2 years old and under. The same thing Pharaoh did in Egypt back when Moses was born. They killed all the male childs. But Herod, he slew all the children that were in Bethlehem and all the coast thereof from 2 years old and under, according to the time which he had diligently inquired of the wise men. Then was fulfilled that which was spoken by Jeremiah the prophet, saying, in Ramah was there a voice heard, lamentation and weeping and great mourning. Rachel weeping for her children, and would not be comforted because they are not. This is Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 15. Thus says Yahweh, a voice was heard in Ramah, lamentation and bitter weeping. Now we understand what this passage means, or what this verse means. Lamentation and bitter weeping. We understand this is prophesied to happen back when Yahushua was born. Rachel, weeping for her children, refused to be comforted for her children because they were not. This is Matthew chapter 2, verse 19 through 21. But when Herod was dead, behold, an angel of Yahweh appears in a dream to Joseph in Egypt. Where was this happening at? In Egypt, where Moses was raised. The same thing happened to Yahushua. Verse 20, saying, arise and take the young child and his mother and go into the land of Israel, for they are dead which sought the young child's life. And he arose and took the young child and his mother and came into the land of Israel. What else makes Yahushua a prophet like Moses? This is Exodus chapter 34, verse 27 and 28. And Yahweh said unto Moses, write you these words, for after the tenor of these words I have made a covenant with you and with Israel. And he was there with Yahweh 40 days and 40 nights. He did neither eat bread nor drink water. And he wrote upon the tables the words of the covenant, the 10 commandments. Keep that in mind. He fasted 40 days and 40 nights. He did neither eat bread nor drink water. Matthew chapter 4, verse 1 and 2. Then was Yahushua led up of the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterward and hungered. So as we see here, Moses fasted 40 days and 40 nights to get the commandments. Yahushua fasted also 40 days and 40 nights when he was in the Spirit that led him into the wilderness. What else makes Yahushua a prophet like Moses? Matthew chapter 5, verse 17. Think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. As you see, he's fulfilling the prophecies that's written in the Old Testament. Matthew chapter 26, verse 31 and 32. Verse 31. Then says Yahushua unto them, all you shall be offended because of me this night, for it is written, I will smite the shepherd, and the sheep of the flock shall be scattered abroad. But after I am risen again, I will go before you in Galilee. Now, what is Yahushua doing? He's prophesying about what's about to take place before his death. This is what makes him a prophet. But guess what? Another prophet prophesied about this. That's Zechariah chapter 13, verse 7. Awake, O sword, against my shepherd, and against the man that is my fellow, says Yahweh of hosts. Smite the shepherd, and the sheep shall be scattered, and I will turn my hand upon the little ones. So this is back to Matthew chapter 26, verse 33 through 35. It states, Peter answered and said unto him, Though all men shall be offended because of you, yet will I never be offended. Yahushua said unto him, Verily I say unto you, that this night before the cock crow, you shall deny me thrice, meaning 3 times. Verse 35. Peter said unto him, Though I should die with you, yet will I not deny you. Likewise also said all the disciples. Verse 69. Now Peter sat without in the palace, and a damsel came unto him, saying, You also was with Yahushua of Galilee. But he denied before them all, saying, I know not what you say. And when he was gone out into the porch, another maid saw him, and said unto them that were there, This fellow was also with Yahushua of Nazareth. And again he denied with an oath, I do not know the man. So now let's look at another characteristic of Yahushua that makes him like a prophet like Moses. This is Exodus chapter 13, verse 3. And it states, And Moses said unto the people, Remember this day in which you came out from Egypt, out of the house of bondage. For by strength of hand Yahweh brought you out from this place. There shall no leavened bread be eaten. Verse 14. And it shall be when your son asks you in time to come, saying, What is this? That you shall say unto him, By strength of hand Yahweh brought us from Egypt, from the house of bondage. So we left Egypt out of the house of bondage, physical bondage, by the hand of Moses. But how does this compare to Yahushua? Ephesians chapter 4, verse 7 and 8. But unto every one of us is given grace, according to the measure of the gift of Christ. Wherefore he says, When he ascends up on high, he led captivity captive and gave gifts unto men. Now, what is he making reference to? He's making reference to spiritual bondage. And David prophesied about that. Psalms chapter 68, verse 18. You has ascended on high. Who is that? Yahushua. You has led captivity captive. You have received gifts for men. Yeah, for the rebellious also, that Yahweh Elohim might dwell among them. Romans chapter 6 and verse 6. Knowing this, that our old man is crucified with him, that the body of sin might be destroyed, that henceforth we should not serve sin. Know you not that to whom you yield yourselves servants to obey, his servants you are to whom you obey, whether of sin unto death or of obedience unto righteousness? But Elohim be thanked that you were the servants of sin, but you have obeyed from the heart that form of doctrine which was delivered you, being then made free from sin. I'm going to repeat that. Being then made free from sin, you became the servants of righteousness. So Yahushua freed us spiritually from sin. That was our bondage. Moses freed us physically from Egypt. That was our physical bondage. Romans chapter 8, verse 14. For as many as are led by the Spirit of God, they are the sons of God. For you have not received the spirit of bondage again to fear, but you have received the spirit of adoption, whereby we cry, Abba, Father. The Spirit itself bears witness with our spirit that we are the children of God. This is Hebrews chapter 2, verse 14 and 15. For as much then as the children are partakers of flesh and blood, he also himself likewise took part of the same, that through death he might destroy him that had the power of death, that is, the devil, and deliver them who through fear of death were all their lifetime subject to bondage. He freed us from being subject to bondage. Yahushua did. What else makes Yahushua a prophet like Moses? Exodus chapter 14, verse 27 through 29. And Moses stretched forth his hand over the sea, and the sea returned to his strength when the morning appeared. So as you see, Moses had control over the waters or the seas. And it also states, and the Egyptians fled against it, and Yahweh overthrew the Egyptians in the midst of the sea. And the waters returned and covered the chariots, and the horsemen, and all the hosts of Pharaoh that came into the sea after them. There remained not so much as one of them, but the children of Israel walked upon dry land in the midst of the sea, and the waters were a wall unto them on the right hand and on the left. So we see Moses had control over the waters. Now we understand how that happened through the angels. But what about Yahushua? This is Mark chapter 4, verse 35 through 41. And the same day when the even was come, he said unto them, let us pass over unto the other side. And when they had sent away the multitude, they took him even as he was in the ship. And there were also with him other little ships. And there rose a great storm of wind, and the waves beat into the ship, so that it was now full. And he was in the hinder part of the ship, asleep on a pillow. And they awake him, and say unto him, Master, carest you not that we perish? Verse 39. And he arose and rebuked the wind, and said unto the sea, Peace, be still. And the wind ceased, and there was a great calm. And he said unto them, Why are you so fearful? How is it that you have no faith? And they feared exceedingly, and said one to another, What manner of man is this, that even the wind and the sea obey him? Let's look at another miracle by the hand of Moses. Exodus chapter 17, verse 1 through 6. And all the congregation of the children of Israel journeyed from the wilderness of Sin after their journeys, according to the commandment of Yahweh, and pitched in Rephidim. And there was no water for the people to drink. Wherefore the people did chide with Moses, and said, Give us water that we may drink. And Moses said unto them, Why chide you with me? Wherefore do you tempt Yahweh? Verse 3. And the people thirsted there for water, and the people murmured against Moses, and said, Wherefore is this that you has brought us out of Egypt to kill us and our children and our cattle with thirst? And Moses cried unto Yahweh, saying, What should I do unto this people? They be almost ready to stone me. Verse 5. And Yahweh said unto Moses, Go before the people, and take with you the elders of Israel, and your rod, wherewith you smote the river. Take in your hand and go. Behold, I will stand before you there upon the rock in Horeb, and you shall smite the rock, and there shall come water out of it, that the people may drink. And Moses did so in the sight of the elders of Israel. So how is that in comparison to Yahushua? This is John chapter 6, verse 5 through 14. When Yahushua then lifted up his eyes and saw a great company come unto him, he said unto Philip, When shall we buy bread that these may eat? And this he said to prove him, for he himself knew what he would do. Philip answered him, 200 penny worth of bread is not sufficient for them, that every one of them might take a little. So this is during the time when Yahushua was performing miracles, that he developed a crowd that followed him. and they didn't have that much to eat for everybody. So this is Yahushua speaking to his disciples. Verse 8. One of his disciples, Andrew, Simon Peter's brother, said unto him, There is a lad here, which has 5 barley leaves and 2 small fishes. But what are they among so many? And Yahushua said, Make the men sit down. Now there was much grass in the place. So the men sat down, in number about 5,000. Verse 11. And Yahushua took the loaves, and when he had given thanks, he distributed to the disciples, and the disciples to them that were set down, and likewise of the fishes as much as they would. Verse 12. When they were filled, he said unto his disciples, Gather up the fragments that remain, that nothing be lost. Therefore they gathered them together and filled 12 baskets with the fragments of the 5 barley loaves, which remained over and above unto them that had eaten. Then those men, when they had seen the miracle that Yahushua did, said, This is of a truth that prophet that should come into the world. What else makes Yahushua a prophet like Moses? Exodus chapter 32, verse 30 through 33. And it came to pass on the morrow that Moses said unto the people, You have sinned a great sin, and now I will go up unto Yahweh. Peradventure, I shall make an atonement for your sin. And Moses returned unto Yahweh and said, Oh, this people have sinned a great sin and have made them gods of gold. Now let's see what Moses said to Yahweh. Yet now, if you will forgive their sin, and if not, blot me, meaning kill me, and I pray you out of your book which you has written. And Yahweh said unto Moses, Whosoever has sinned against me, him will I blot out of my book. So it looks to me that Moses was our intercessor for Yahweh. But how is that in comparison to Yahushua? Acts chapter 5, verse 30 and 31. The God of our fathers raised up Yahushua, whom you slew and hanged on a tree. Him has Elohim exalted with his right hand to be a prince and a savior, for to give repentance to Israel and forgiveness of sins. So Moses was willing to die for the nation of Israel, but Yahushua actually died for the nation of Israel. Romans chapter 8, verse 34. Who is he that condemns? Is it Christ that died? Yeah, rather, that is risen again, who is even at the right hand of God, who also makes intercession for us, just like Moses did. Isaiah chapter 53, verse 7 through 12. He was oppressed. Who are we talking about? Yahushua. He was afflicted, yet he opened not his mouth. He is brought as a lamb to the slaughter, and as a sheep before her shears is dumb. So he opened not his mouth. He was taken from prison and from judgment. And who shall declare his generation? For he was cut off out of the land of the living. For the transgression of my people was he stricken. Verse 9. And he made his grave with the wicked and with the rich in his death, because he had done no violence, neither was any deceit in his mouth. Yet it pleased Yahweh to bruise him. He has put him to grief. When you shall make his soul an offering for sin, he shall see his seed. He shall prolong his days, and the pleasure of Yahweh shall prosper in his hand. Verse 11. He shall see of the travail of his soul, and shall be satisfied by his knowledge. Shall my righteous servant justify many? For he shall bear their iniquities. Whose iniquities? The children of Israel. Verse 12. Just like Moses wanted to bear our iniquities, but he didn't. Yahushua actually bared our iniquities. Verse 12. Therefore will I divide him a portion with the great, and he shall divide the spoil with the strong, because he has poured out his soul unto death, and he was numbered with the transgressors, and he bare the sin of many, and made intercession for the transgressors. Let's keep going. What else makes Yahushua a prophet like Moses? Leviticus chapter 26, verse 46. These are the statutes and judgments and laws which Yahweh made between him and the children of Israel in Mount Sinai by the hand of Moses. Moses gave the laws to the children of Israel. Guess what? So did Yahushua.